Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So we're doing a car repair video today. I have my 2008 Ford Focus, and we're going to replace the forward strut assembly. Now this strut assembly includes the shock, the spring, and everything that holds that together. You can buy them separately nowadays, but nobody ever really does. Time efficient or financially efficient to do them separately. You'd have to have a spring compressor in order to get it taken apart and then put it back together and just replace the shock. So yeah, as I said, it just doesn't make any sense nowadays because parts are so cheap to simply just replace the shock. You replace the whole thing and it's 10 times easier. Probably would take you 5 or 6 hours in a home garage to do one side because of all the decompressing the spring and recompressing it. You'd have to have a tool to do that. Whereas this takes me maybe 30 minutes on this side because I already did the other side. I hadn't done this in a very long time, so the first side, took me a little while longer than it should have, but then the second time went so much easier. I did have a little bit of a struggle at one point getting it lined up correctly, but once I got it lined up correctly, it popped right in. Everything was good. The reason why it didn't line up correctly is because I accidentally bent the clip on the back of the strut assembly when I was trying to put it in, and so I had to bend it back in order to get it to fit in properly. I'm not sure why they make it such soft metal and so easy to bend, but yeah, that made it a lot harder. As you can see right there, my right elbow, I've already got some blood doing this job. It's one of the things my brother, when he gave me his tools here to borrow, he also threw a first aid kit at me, and I said, "Oh, I don't need that." Yeah, well, I did end up needing that because you just invariably, you end up needing a Band-Aid or two. You catch a finger on a sharp piece of metal, or you bump your elbow on something and you get a minor wound. Anyway, what we're doing right here is disconnecting the brake line from the strut assembly itself. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through a bunch of this, but as you can see, you just use a screwdriver. I'm using a claw hammer here. Whatever method works for you to pry that thing out. There's a little notch in the top of it. You can pry up on it and remove that little clip, and then the brake line comes off. So you can see there now I've worked it free. Might have helped if I'd have put a little anti-seize on that. A good idea to spray anti-seize all over all of this stuff before you start the job, but obviously it's not really necessary. You can do without it. See, that's the next bolt I need to disconnect there. You actually have to use an Allen wrench. I'll show in a second. Use that Allen wrench. It goes in the bolt, and then you need to use I'm not a Crescent wrench, I'm sorry. I think it was a 13 millimeter to unscrew the bolt. So the Allen wrench holds it, keeps it from turning, and you then unscrew it. So I tapped on it a little bit just to get it started here because it's pretty tight, but a little bit of tap. Oh, I was going the wrong direction there. Now we're going the right direction. And you see a few taps there. It came loose. And then you simply have to wrench on it until it comes all the way off. You got to keep that Allen wrench in there so that it doesn't just spin. It actually turns the nut off the bolt, and then you take it loose. So I want to talk real quickly about the cost of this job. A mechanic quoted me right about $472 to do this job. That would have included parts, labor, everything. I ended up just buying the parts for only $141. So you can see there's a significant savings there. You could easily spend another $100, $150 on tools and still save yourself quite a lot of money by doing these jobs yourself. So don't be afraid to do it. Jump in, get your hands dirty, and now let's get back to the video. Here I'm simply tapping on the thingamabobber there. Not sure exactly what it's called, but if you're doing this on your car, obviously you'll notice what that is. You don't really need to know what it's called. Just know you just tap on it and you can see it coming out. Just continue to do that until it finally releases. And you can see here when it does finally release, you will definitely know it. You could use a larger hammer for this. Obviously, I didn't, but a bigger one wouldn't hurt anything. You might make it go a little bit faster. Sorry about this, trying to hold the camera and do the job at the same time. Sometimes can be a little difficult. Just have to keep working this around. Once again, a little bit of anti-seize sprayed in there ahead of time might have made it a little easier. Nice. So you can see the next thing we're going to do here is release the three nuts up top on the outside. Do not, I repeat, do not loosen that nut in the middle. That is what holds the spring together, holds the entire assembly together. And if you loosen that nut, the thing's just going to spring apart. Now, that wouldn't be disastrous since it's the old one, but if you did that one on the new one, then you would have a hell of a time trying to put it back together. Fell right out. So as you can see here, we've got the old one out. We're getting ready to put the new one in. Got those three nuts on top, just like the other one with the one in the center. Once again, do not loosen that nut in the center. If you do that, you will never get it in unless you have some specialized tools. So don't mess with the nut in the middle. Just take the three around the outside out, and you're going to slide it up in there and put those nuts on. So here we are. See that clip I was pointing to right there? That's the clip that I accidentally bent at some point, and so I couldn't get it lined up perfectly. I actually had to pull it out just a little bit, bend it back to its proper placement so that it would slide in. So if you're very careful not to bend that in the first place, which I didn't do that on the other side. The other side I had no problem. I didn't accidentally bump it up against something and booger it up, and it ended up sliding in a lot easier than this side did. So now I am putting the jack. This is why you have to have jack stands for this job, because you need to use the jack underneath the brake assembly to lift it up to be able to slide the shock or strut into the hole. There we go. See, it popped in there pretty good. Once you do that, you can put a nut or two on the top to keep it from falling down too far. You see, I'm going to raise up the jack here a little bit farther. Continue to push it into the strut. So at this point, you can see me. I've got it pushed up in there. I'm just tapping it on the sides, making sure everything is lined up properly. This is where I had the little problem where I couldn't get it lined up properly because I had accidentally bent that clip on the back. Once again, if you're more careful, that doesn't happen, and it goes a lot faster. Like I said, when I did the one on the other side, I didn't make that mistake, and I didn't go through all of this. So we're going to skip over it.
What? Me? I'm a year and a half older than he is. I'm better looking though. So that's it right there. This reattached. Got that on there. Got the bolt through there. That's all it is. And you come on top. I put these nuts in, and we're all done. Put the tire back on.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you'll drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, as well as 7 Days to Die content, and I may even start playing some Apex Legends again. We'll see you next time.